Hey guys, welcome to Wrestling Daze and welcome to this very special video. We are going to talk about Liv Morgan. Now, some of you out there might be rolling your eyes, I can't see, but we have spoke about this a few times before, I'm aware of that. But one of the conversations was buried in a 3-hour watch-along. The other conversation was in an hour post-show review. So what I wanted to do is kind of pull it out as its own video because this is such an interesting subject. This genuinely is something that is fascinating me because Liv Morgan was super popular, super over, right? Everyone seemed to be on her side. She had one of the feel-good moments of the year. She not only won Money in the Bank, she cashed it in the same night to become the Smackdown Women's Champion. She cashed it in on Ronda, and so the rematch was made at SummerSlam. It would be Liv Morgan taking on Ronda Rousey. Now, the thing was, when she won the title, Ronda was injured. Of course, now Ronda was going to be fit and healthy, and everything was going to be great. So, what was Liv going to do? Because a fit Ronda surely wins this match. Ronda Rousey is in the UFC Hall of Fame, right? I mean, she is a former Olympian. She's won a medal in judo at the Olympics. Like, Liv just can't hang with that. So, what were they going to do? How was this match going to go? Well, we found out plenty of controversy. So, this is the finish. This is the finish of that match at SummerSlam. Basically, Ronda has got Liv in an armbar. Liv taps. You can see her arm at the top, her hand, she taps. Ref does not see it. The ref is looking at Ronda's shoulders, and he counts 1, 2, 3. End of the match. Liv wins. Referee's decision is final. That's it. Okay? Ronda freaks out, attacks everyone, gets suspended. Okay? So we were waiting to find out now what is going to happen, what happens here, because, like, surely she knows now. She will have seen this, even if she didn't know at the time that she had tapped first, and she might not have, but even if she didn't know at the time, she will have seen this by now. So what is she going to come out and say? I actually said the SummerSlam finish was all right. I didn't hate it. I was waiting to see what would come next. I said I thought she should surrender the title. I thought she should surrender it because if she doesn't, this is a really interesting development of her character because she has tapped first, and if the ref had seen it, she would have lost. But she's not going to confess to it. She's going to kind of just keep it quiet and move on. And we've seen faces do that before. There's been plenty of faces that have got a referee decision going their way, but there's not many examples of where the face has actually tapped first and the ref hasn't seen it. There's not many examples of that, and certainly not many examples of anyone that's got the character of Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan to me has always been about doing the right thing. She could have cut so many corners in her career and got to the top quicker by attacking people. She never did that. She's always been about waiting in line, about doing the right thing, about working hard, about, getting that support of the fans. So for her to tap first and then sort of ignore it, there are people online saying, is this the start of a heel turn? Is this the start of a heel turn? And that's why tonight, SmackDown, last night, was so fascinating. What was going to get said? What was going to happen? Well, we found out. She comes down to the ring and pretty much ignores it. She just says that she's feeling conflicted and she's got all these emotions, and that's it. And we are literally about to move on to find out who her next challenger is going to be. So she doesn't forfeit the title. She doesn't say that she knows that she lost. She doesn't offer Ronda an immediate rematch. She doesn't go and speak to Adam Pearce. She literally ignores it. And that is not seemingly what the fans wanted. They wanted that controversy to be acknowledged And it wasn't. And so they started booing. They actually start booing Liv Morgan. They're booing. They're chanting that you tapped out. They're chanting for Ronda because they feel like Ronda has been robbed. So all of these chants coming in. You can see Liv's face in this image. You can see the face of Kayla Braxton. My feeling is that this is bad booking gone wrong. I don't think this is meant to be a turn. I don't think they're slowly now turning Liv. But I must admit, tapping first and not acknowledging it, following that up with then, coming out and not saying anything and just trying to ignore it and move on, it does definitely come across and start to feel quite heelish. And then Kayla, after this segment, Kayla sent a tweet out that blew my mind. Like, this tweet is stunning. I'm going to show it you now. Here's the tweet from Kayla Braxton. It says, "For those wondering why I look annoyed," and for starters, I mean, she doesn't look annoyed there to me. If that's her looking annoyed, I think she looks quite passive, but that's, irrelevant. I was disappointed with the disrespectful chants towards our SmackDown Women's Champion. Now, a couple of things I'm going to say here. First of all, WWE did not need to tweet out a video or send out a video of Liv getting that reaction. They could have hidden it. They could have ignored it. And they could have, hoped that we just move on. So they didn't need to draw attention to it. So that's interesting. Not only that, Kayla didn't need to draw attention to it. She could have just ignored it. That's interesting. And also saying that the fans' chants were disrespectful. I mean, that's interesting. So all of this is interesting, but the best bit is yet to come. Look at this bit. Liv is so deserving. Okay. So hush it when she speaks. Hush it when she speaks. Is this Kayla typing in anger? Or is this part of some sort of turn? Because that is the kind of thing the Miz would say. When my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut. Hush it when... If there's one thing I know about wrestling fans, they love being told what to think, how to act. They, what they can say. They absolutely love it. They love it. They love being told what to do. So, I find this tweet stunning. I feel like it's written in anger, but there are plenty of people that have put messages in this tweet and the one from WWE saying, Liv Morgan heel turn, I'm here for it. Or Liv Morgan slowly turning heel, you love to see it. There really are people out there thinking this is part of a heel turn, but that's why we're having this conversation, to get a gauge as to what you think. I think this is written in anger. But all this tweet makes me want to do is, if I was going to next week's show, I would be booing her. Because now I'm being told that I shouldn't do that. And if you're told not to do something, you want to do it, don't you? So, do you know what I mean? Don't be so disrespectful chanting that stuff. Make sure that you stay quiet when she speaks. Well, what do you think that's going to do? What reaction do you think that's going to get? And this is what I'm saying. Has she done this on purpose? I don't know. I don't know if this is in anger or if there's something else going on. But, so we've got that anyway. We've got a couple of other things to go to. This was after that segment. So we're backstage. And I think there's some interesting stuff in this as well. This is a digital exclusive. You can see Liv backstage, and she gets asked, how are you going to prepare for Shayna? Shayna Baszler won a gauntlet match. She is Liv's next challenge. So, how are you going to prepare for Shayna? She says, and this is stunning, I'm stunned by this. I mean, think about this for an opening line after everything that's happened. She says, I think, this is Liv, I think, after defeating Ronda Rousey, pause, that's the first line. After everything that's gone down, with her being booed, You tapped out. Ronda Rousey chants. Your first opening line in a backstage interview is, after defeating Ronda Rousey, and it's not just part of a sentence. She says it that slow and then pauses and then carries on with the rest. Like, it really is, in a way, like, I want you to hear this. It's like, I want you to not ignore what I'm about to say. I'm putting it at the very start, and I'm going to pause, and I'm going to make sure you hear this. After defeating Ronda Rousey, pause, facing Shayna will be interesting. She is a submission specialist, a limb specialist. She knows 100 different ways to break my arm. I know what she thinks when she sees me. I know what condition I'm in. What Shayna doesn't know is what I'm willing to do to keep my Smackdown Women's Championship. Watch me. That's what she says. That's what she says, and she ends blowing a little kiss to the belt. So, I mean, look, this could all just be nothing. It could be. It could be Kayla getting annoyed on Twitter. It could be an isolated group of fans. I don't think it is. Looking at Twitter, there is actually plenty of people that seem to be siding with the fans tonight. And of course, plenty of people that are right behind Liv. She's got a big fan base. So, it seems quite split, right? Then you've got, like, the Kayla tweet. Was that written in anger? I think it was. But it was really silly, I think, if it was. Because, if anything, I think it's going to have the opposite effect. And then you've got, like, Liv, who tapped first, didn't acknowledge it, and is now, after being booed out of this building, saying, after defeating Ronda Rousey, and also at the end adding, I'm willing, Shayna doesn't know what I'm willing to do to keep my SmackDown Women's Championship. If this isn't a full-blown heel turn, could it be that she is now just leaning a bit more into her darker side? Could it be that they want her to do that because they want Shayna to be the face in this feud? Because the thing is, Ronda, I think, is now a heel. When she attacked Liv, she, heel turn. So when Ronda comes back, if Shayna was the champ, Shayna might need to be a face. Because you might do Shayna versus Ronda, and Shayna would be the face, and Ronda would be the heel. And Ronda could say to Shayna, that's my belt. I won that at SummerSlam. So why have you got it? Or something along those lines. And even though they're friends, Ronda could feel like she's being stabbed in the back. So I am genuinely sitting here wondering, are they slowly moving Liv into sort of a heel role? I can't see her going full heel, but if you watched AEW, do you remember when they moved Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson into a bit of a heel position? I think when he went up against Hangman Page, they moved him into like a heel role, and then they moved him back again. Because it worked for that feud. They needed him to be a heel, and then they moved him back. Could this be them just edging Liv into her darker sides because they need Shayna, or they want Shayna to be the face? I really don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I would have said no. I think that Liv is a face, but I mean, the reaction tonight was quite clear that there's a good chunk of fans that think she's, showing heel qualities by tapping first and not admitting to it. And then, starting your promo after defeating Ronda Rousey. She could have said anything. She could have said, look, what happened? This was backstage, by the way. So she could have said, look, what happened with Ronda is really unfortunate, and I will seek to get a rematch. As I said, she could have said anything. But no, instead she's coming out saying after defeating Ronda Rousey, she is absolutely no selling the fact that she tapped first. There's plenty of people as well that are going to say, oh, there's been loads of faces that have, tapped first, or that have won matches by cheating or by the referee not calling the right decision. The truth of that, though, is that I don't remember them tapping first. I don't remember them like, submitting and, like, everyone seeing that they've lost the match. One of the examples I was given was Becky pinning Ronda at WrestleMania 35, and Ronda's shoulder appeared to be up. But the truth of the matter is Becky didn't lose that match. So, yeah, the ref made a mistake, and that, sucks for Ronda. But Becky didn't lose the match. She won the match, but she didn't lose the match. The difference here is that had the ref had seen Liv, she would have lost the match. She is walking around with a belt that she tapped on, she gave up on, she shouldn't have, if the ref had seen it. So, for me, I mean, it's hard to find examples similar to this. And, people might point to Eddie Guerrero and things along those lines, but the Eddie character is so different to this Liv character. So different. If Liv was cheated before, and she was all about lying and cheating and stealing, and this was just part of her character, and we all knew this is the kind of thing she did, then, no, people wouldn't be making such a big deal out of this, would they? Because it'd just be what she does. This is who she is. She lies, she cheats, she steals. But this is not what she's been. This is not her character. This is not what we've seen. This is not Liv Morgan. So it's so interesting. It's so interesting. I like Liv. I'm going to end on this. I like Liv. Yeah, I still like Liv. But I do think that this story has hurt this title reign. I think you can get it back on track. I don't know if you get it back on track by just ignoring this and hoping that the wrestling fans move on to something else. They might. They might. I mean, there's plenty of people talking about Carrion. I'm sure there's going to be other big things coming in the next few weeks. So, will they focus on what happened at SummerSlam in a month's time? Maybe not. Maybe not. But I don't know. I just don't know. I don't know. After that reaction, will there be a conversation about turning Liv heel if they haven't done it already or don't have plans already? I don't know. What would you do? Would you turn her heel? Would you keep her face? I did ask this question online, and I think it was like keep her face was about 52%. Turn her heel was 48%. So people are split as to whether you turn her or even keep her face. So much to unpack with this. This is why I wanted to do a separate video on it. And I just think it's really interesting. Really interesting. Who cannot wait, myself included, for next week's Smackdown to see what reaction she gets. I can't wait. What reaction is she going to get? Is she going to be cheered? Is she going to be booed again? Will fans have moved on to something else? Or is this something that is such a big talking point? It's such an interesting thing that's happened that the fans won't forget it? I don't know. I really don't know. I can't wait to find out. Let me know your thoughts on it all down in the comments below. Really appreciate it. I hope you enjoy these conversation videos, and hopefully you have a great weekend doing whatever you're doing. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.